man, it would just be brutal, right?
I think you have to have a certain personality for that as well.
Oh yeah, you could be up there getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
Stuff thrown at you and booing and jeering and all that kind of thing, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
With the band D.O.A, like, a lot of people say that D.O.A started hardcore. Would you tend to agree to that?
Well, the thing is, we didn't start it, but what we did, we kind of we put the phrase into the common vernacular, so to speak. The way it originated, there was this article. We were in San Francisco on tour down in California, and we saw this magazine, and I can't remember the name of the magazine, I can't remember the name of the writer, but the article was titled Hardcore, and the article was about D.O.A, Dead Candies, Black Flags, Circle Jerks, Avengers, you know, kind of the whole West Coast scene, right? Up and down between San Diego and Vancouver. And said this is a new type of punk rock. These guys are hardcore. It doesn't sound like New York. It doesn't sound like London. So we kind of had our own identity and sound. I mean, even though the band didn't sound like, but it was like a lot more straightforward and a lot more pared down and a lot less fashion conscious than, say, the English or the New York scenes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking about, you know, this is late 1980. And we were working on a new album, and, you know, our manager came up and said, well, here's the title, how about Hardcore 81? So we put that on the album, and then we had this festival in Vancouver with us, 7 Seconds and Black Flag, and we titled it Hardcore 81, and then we after that, we did about a 50-day tour around North America titled Hardcore 81. So that kind of just put the phrase in there so people associate that with music, you know. And then today, I mean, you could say D.O.A is a hardcore punk rock band. Obviously, the definition of hardcore has changed a lot because of, I think, the New York hardcore scene that's miles different than what we were talking about back in 1981. So I think we put the phrase into the common vernacular.
Yeah.
I didn't make it up. It was a writer in San Francisco.
Okay. Now, outside the environment, what other sort of political items kind of get under your skin?
Well, I mean, I sort of take on a lot of different things if I can, or as time permits. I mean, basically, my whole thing is like trying to get people to have some sort of level of freedom and have some sort of level of justice, and if that's being eroded, then fight to preserve it. Just like, you know, we're lucky here. We live in a democracy. I mean, everything is not completely fair, but, you know, it's one of the greatest countries in the world where people do have the right to say what they think and freedom of the press and stuff like that. And I think the thing is, you know, if I get a chance to work on something that has helped people remain vigilant and be aware that they shouldn't let their democratic rights that were really hard fought to win in the first place, they shouldn't let them be eroded.
Right.
At the same time, if I can find a way to help a cause that spreads that kind of thought to other places in the world, that's a good thing. So, I mean, overall general, I just look for causes that make sense to me. It can be something really simple, right? So, you know, I do a benefit if a band, like a rock band's broken down or they got their stuff ripped off, hey, let's do a benefit for that, right? You know, or to arrange something bigger, like I say, they talk about the global warming. And a few years ago, we were doing a lot of stuff along free trade, right? You know, which we say it should be, forget about free trade, it should be fair trade.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still like really into that cause in a general thing and do shows and stuff like that along that line.
Right. Okay. Last question. When you were saying you were going to run for mayor in Vancouver, how did the...
2020.
Whenever it happens, man, I'm there.
Okay.
How did the city react when you had D.O.A Day in Vancouver?
Well, it was pretty interesting because it was the mayor's, we had a new mayor at the time, Larry Campbell. Now he's a Liberal senator in Ottawa. He's not the mayor here anymore, but that was his first act in office was to declare December 21st as D.O.A Day.
Wow.
So I think people kind of just thought, yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is like D.O.A is like a fixture out here. You know what I mean? It's just like part of Vancouver. And, you know, to me, and that's a really cool thing, because I always thought, like, the great bands that I looked up to or liked, they, you always identified where they were from. You know, when I think of, when I drive into London off the ferry from France or whatever, to fly in there, I try to have like a Sex Pistols CD with me, right? You know, because I always identify London with the Sex Pistols. Or
gotcha.
You're going to Texas, you should put on some ZZ Top. You know,
right.
Really put on ACD. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you identify right away with that whole, with us, it's the West Coast thing, the lumberjack look, the use of chainsaws, hockey. I mean, so it's Canadiana too, right?
Sure.
Right? So, because we're borrowing stuff that's, you know, popular or prevalent all over our country, right? So.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Toronto's hooked up with Our Lady Peace, so that's our stigma.
Sorry, say that again?
Our stigma for Toronto is Our Lady Peace.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Hey, there's always hope for the future, though.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, it's like, no, I can't. Those guys are tough to take, right? That's funny, right? So, okay, well, cool. Yeah. And how's the magazine? You guys have moved over to like a online form?
Yeah, we're doing online now. It's going all right. We're about double the amount of viewers and visitors versus readers. So.
Yeah.